What's up, my 1111 YouTube friends? New project in the shop. Check it out. 1993 XLT. I owned one of these brand new in January of 1993. I bought it from my Sandy Sports. I put 5,000 miles on mine in one winter. We had an outstanding winter. And then the following year, I snow checked at 94 and put 5,000 miles on that one too. Piped, headed, the whole 9 yards. We are going to build this. Trent and I are going to build it for Meghan to have her own snowmobile.
About time.
Yeah. What do you usually ride?
Whatever sled they put me on.
Yeah. What do you normally get to ride though?
I think it's one of like the red ones.
The
Either
XCR 800.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's usually riding one of the XCR 800s. She loves the power. She says the needle goes way down in the bottom. She told me about that one time. Yeah. She used to ride Redemption, the Ultra, all the time. She really liked that sled. And then I just up and sold it. Don't know why, because now I just added another one to the fleet. There's a very special reason why I did, and I'm going to get into that. But Trent and I are going to blow this thing apart, and we're going to give this thing the full treatment. It's a real clean sled, clean seat, clean hood. It's clean, it runs. I don't normally start my projects off like this. There's a reason. We'll get to it. So, Meghan, super stoked.
Oh, I thought you wanted to be.
Super stoked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
right
excited.
Yeah. Yeah. She's going to finally have one that she can call hers. Mm-hmm. So, but all right. Well, we'll get back to more on what we're going to do with this thing. It even runs. Not too often I start a project with a running snowmobile. Let's call it a head of stitch. Yeah, it's a freaking runner even. God, thing's so clean. Seat is nice and beautiful. God. Yeah, I got big plans for this one, everyone. Big plans. We'll talk about it in a few minutes. All right, I'm going to get after this thing. Trenton's doing some other stuff, but the two of us are going to gang up on this thing and get stuff done. They said we're going to blow this thing all apart in the next day, get everything ready for powder coat, and in a little while I'll start talking about why I want to build this sled. And I never thought I built one XLT. I guess I didn't anticipate building another one. There's nothing wrong with them. And I'll tell you, this thing's got 8,000 miles on it, and the only thing that's ever been out of it is the spark plugs. So I think these early XLT engines were good. I had one. I put 5,000 flawless miles on, never had an issue. So these really get a bad rap. This sled, 8,000 miles, it's never been touched from what I can tell, other than the rear skid's been swapped out of it to a different, still an 8-inch, but it's a different model of skid. I'm actually going to put the correct one back in it. I'm running all Fox shocks in it. I'm going to get them. This thing is absolutely beautiful. It's amazing looking. It's just gorgeous. I mean, look, it's just flat out gorgeous. It's a 93. I cannot believe how clean of a 93 I found. And I wasn't even looking at it. It fell into my lap almost. Well, I kind of looked. I only looked for a couple minutes and I found one, but it is so clean and beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, and it's amazing. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get the antifreeze out of this. Here's my tool of trade right here. Shop back. Start right here. Get it right there. Get what you can out of there first. Then we'll just connect that upper hose and get that hose slid into the shop back and go from there. Get a little of this. All right, I got what I could out of the top. Now I got that upper hose off. Let's kind of push it down. Get what I can out of here. And then we'll move around to that front cooler. Then we'll lift the back of the sled up to force as much coolant as we can to the. Well, every once in a while there is a Christmas miracle. And the other side came apart, so let's do this side together. 2 days ago, I treated everything with this, which may have helped, but I think the fact that this sled did not sit outside all the time had a lot to do with why the other side came apart as easily as it did. I hate to say that before even doing this side, because that is, I'm jinxing myself, I feel like. But I'm confident things will go okay here. I'm gonna get my right wrench here. Oh, there it is down here. Right where I threw it in victory. I did get to the shock bolt on the other side. It gave me a little grief, so I had to get out the pneumatic big gun to get it out. And I was a little concerned at first that things were not going to go well on the shock bolt, the lower shock bolt, which typically is a bummer. Let me show you something once. When you actually use this grease fitting down here, these will actually still move and come out. Amazingly enough, that grease fitting does something. Look at it red now. I got my hands all full of grease. But I wanted to show you guys there's proof that that grease fitting does something. It's not just for looks. The sled is 32 years old. And the ski bolts even came out. That was a good sign. Right when I started with the ski bolts and those came out, I'm like, this looks promising, is what I did say to actually I said it out loud, but nobody was in here. I didn't even have the camera going, so I was completely talking to myself. As in like I am right now, but you guys are listening, so I'm not completely talking to myself. If somebody walked in right now, they'd be concerned. But it is 6 o'clock in the morning on Thanksgiving, and I don't expect anybody to come walking in at that time. Did you guys see that? Did you see how I just slid those bolts out? Kind of amazing. Now, this is where I got concerned earlier. Hopefully, this goes well. Gonna have to get the big guns out again. Little Milwaukee just ain't got it. Oh, that hurts. I don't like when it does that. Oh, that's a good feeling. Oh my God. You cannot describe it. Oh my, I got a bad cough. I cannot explain how good of a feeling that is. Now I'm going to risk this again, because I risked it on the other side because everything was going well, but I do like to put a wrench on it first. And I'm not going to go any further. I'm going to show you now what I'm going to do instead, because I shouldn't have to put as much pressure as I just did on there. That tells me is that the bolt's going to break off. So what I'm going to do instead, that tells me if I have to put any more, that's why I use a wrench at first. If I have to put any more than I just put on there, even though they're on with Loctite, I feel like the bolt will break. Once it breaks in there, it sucks. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to take my grinder, my cutoff wheel, I'm going to cut the head of the bolt off, slide the trailing arm off. Then I can stick a vice grip on the bolt and spray even some PB in there, and sometimes even put a little heat right on the bolt head or right on the bolt itself, and then just kind of work it back and forth with that vice grip. And I can see what the bolt is doing then. I'll bring you back on that. All right, I got all my proper PPE on. The guard on the grinder has been removed for video purposes only. First, I'm just going to cut the head of the bolt off. Grinder almost got away from me and took the belly pan out. Close one. I had a good grip on her, but she just kind of started biting in. All right, see where I'm down to now. See where I'm at? I was right in front of you guys. Now you can see where I'm at. Let me move you around here. Sorry, I suck at doing these videos. Okay, let's get a little bit of this on it. Let me get one of these guys down on it. Okay, she's still tight. So, I'm gonna get my little torch out. As soon as I find the darn little thing. Found my torch. I actually just put a very little bit of heat down there and then came back out and I could see that it was starting to sweat out here a little bit. So I just got onto it. I just started to give it the wiggles, back and forth, back and forth. And sure enough, she's coming loose. I'll give it another little douche of this. Hopefully that heat will kind of suck it up those threads. Oh yeah, look at that. Would you just look right at that? So yeah, I'm gonna just kind of start walking it out now. I think sometimes cutting it too, while you're cutting it, puts a little heat in that bolt. It helps break all that stuff loose in there. If we take enough sleds apart, we've all broke one of these off. And man, it immediately turns into a nightmare once you break that bolt off. So hopefully, I showed this many years ago in a video, but I thought it was a good opportunity to bring this little trick up again. Like I said, the other side came right out. This side did not. I felt like it was going to break, and there it is. You can still see the Loctite on there, but she's dry and crusty, and you can see that lube worked its way in a little bit. But there it is. There is your trailing arm bolt. How to get it out if you're worried it's going to break. Oh, getting further along. Just got everything out of the chain case. Pretty much the motor's all ready to be pulled. Just waiting for the muscle. Trenton can come out here and pull that motor out. He's supposed to be coming out soon, but yeah, I got the seat off, the skids out of it. A lot of stuff is off. I got a heck of a pile going over there. About the only thing that gave me any kind of grief was the secondary. It took a while of constantly prying on it and wiggling it, and it was there was a little bit of grease on there, but not much. That thing hadn't been off in a long time. So, but it did come off. Everything has come apart. That is the best part about this whole project so far, is everything has come apart. I got the seat sitting up on the bench over here. I'll talk about my big plans here yet. I'm still going to talk about them. There might be something in the background that, yeah, you might have already seen it. So we'll get to that point and we will talk about it once we get everything pulled apart. I'm even going to pull the belly pan off of this thing. I want to start really clean on this project. I think I'm going to do a mask line right down in here to repaint just the bottom of the running boards. I'll leave the tunnel and stuff because I don't want to disturb any of that stuff. Decals are in good color yet. There's a little bit of boot mark right there, but I think down in here would be a good mask line because I don't know if my paint's going to completely match, but it'll be really close. I'll just use a chassis black. I think is going to be a matte black. It's going to be close, but I'll get as close as I can. But I think if I run a mask line down in this groove down here, will be fine. So we're getting there. I'll bring you back in a little bit when we're pulling the engine out. All right, we got the muscles out here now. Trenton's going to Yankee the XLT motor. Just like that, you give it a bear hug and set it on the bench. We just pulled compression on this thing. I'm certain my compression gauge works just fine and dandy, but I pulled 140 all the way across. Seems like a lot. I don't know what I'm going to find when I go in this engine, but this engine has 8,000 miles on it, and I just pulled 140 straight across. So I don't know. To me, it appears that this engine has never been out of this chassis. I mean, never been out. Because everything appeared to be very factory installed on everything. So I'm not sure why that has so much compression. All pulled apart. Now the fun begins. Get everything cleaned up, get it to the powder coater, get the chassis all pressure washed, get all the parts organized and figure out what I'm using on this very special project. I know you're all wondering what is so special and why am I doing this? Let me talk very briefly of what's going on there. This hood is going to go on there. Some of the decals are coming off that are on there. They were not on there when we did this. Back in the middle 90s, me and a couple buddies built a cross-country race sled out of an XLT. That's why I want to build this project. I got this hood back recently after a passing of a friend. He passed a couple years ago. He had the hood hanging in his garage, Mike's Speed Shop. We called the sled Mike's Speed Shop because we built it in his garage. And I had my mom's friend. She custom painted the Mike's Speed Shop on there. She did the pinstriping on there. I might get a hold of her and see if she can freshen up her paint work on there. That'd be awesome if she could. We have a nose cone down here also that I wouldn't mind having her put a little pizzazz on it like that. That'd be really cool. But Mike passed away and then gave the hood to his son. Unfortunately, this fall, his son also passed away. I've been helping clean out the estate, and I was gifted this hood. And I want to build a sled out of it. I was going to hang it on the shop wall, but I really want to build a sled out of it. We actually had Nolan Nakamus build the shocks for it. This sled was on rails, man. 8-inch suspension, and you could hit a driveway approach wide open on it, and it would suck it up. It was amazing. Nolan Nakamus knew his stuff. He was a very well-known I-500 racer, and we even took and stuck all of our wheels in a lathe and trued up the wheels. We trued our clutches, or had them lathed, also trued and balanced. We did everything we could because we ran a stock class. So basically, everything had to be stock, but you could make it the best stock could be. And even Nolan was showing us, he would get a whole Gaylord full of belts and he would measure every belt, the thickness, the length, he said, because it all varied. And if you ran the correct belt and they're all the same, then everything you were doing was consistent. And we learned a lot from Nolan that year when we were racing. Like I said, he built the shocks for us. And so we're building this sled for Meghan, and we're going to put this hood on it. And I'm just super excited about it. It was a fun year. We dominated the class. It was a 580 class. We dominated. We're against the ZR 580s, and I think we were running against the MXZ 580, 583s, whatever they were. We dominated. We swept it. And it was all cross-country racing. It was like a 50-mile race, maybe just shy of 50 miles. They were anywhere from 30 to 50, I think they were. And it was a combination of lakes, ditches, fields. It was a cross-country. It was fun. It was super cool. The rider, Jacques, was amazing. I mean, he'd put himself on here, and you'd swear his hands were duct taped to the handlebars and the way he'd go. But I think I got to find a seat too. This seat is mint. The hood is mint. All that's going in storage. I'm saving it. This sled can always go back to an original 93 by just putting the hood back on and the seat back on. I'm looking for an XCR seat for it because that's what we ran. And so I'm going to save this stuff because there could be a day that I want to just put the hood back onto the wall and put this thing back to an original 93. And I can do it by keeping those two items right over there. The hood, the seat, and tank setup. And I have room to store it. So that's probably what will happen is I'll save it. And a couple years from now, I could decide, I want to put that stuff back on. And we'll hang the hood on the wall. The hood will always be around. It's been around for 30 years already. It's not going anywhere. It's cool. I love the history of it. I love that I'm building a sled around that hood. Yeah. Along in the build. I hope you guys enjoy it. I thought I would not build another XLT. Being I built one a couple years ago for Bree, and here I am building another one for my daughter Megan. So she's always, she used to ride Redemption all the time, then she's been riding my XCR 800 the last couple years. And now she has a sled she can call her own. We might even throw reverse in this thing. What do you think, Trenton? Reverse? Yeah. Trenton says reverse. We must have 4 or 5 reverse kits on the shelf. The sled might end up with reverse. It sure helps my back when I'm trying to move around. I might find myself riding this thing quite a bit. I loved that race sled. That thing was nimble, and you could go through the woods, and that thing was on rails. I even have a set of aluminum skis I might throw on here that are mid-90s, pointed style aluminum skis, but I'm looking for a set of black ski bottoms, plastic ski bottoms. Looking for a set of black ones. If any of you all watching, email me. I always put it in the description, but I'll tell you right now, it's polaris.trashcan@gmail.com. So I'm looking for a set of black ski bottoms or the purple, but those are like hen's teeth, and I know that, but I'd settle for black. Black would work on there. I'm going to have the skis polished. I'll give them to Clinton over at Race Coatings and have him tumble the skis in his tumbler and polish them on up. So there's the parts, guys. Now I'm going to get busy and cleaning things up and get stuff to the sandblaster this coming week so I can pick it up and get it to the powder coater and move this project forward as fast as I can. Thanks for watching. Please follow along. Hit the super thanks if you want to help with the build. Hit super thanks. Any little bit helps, but appreciate guys, and thanks for watching.